Welcome back to Nikki's Place. We are in cold, dark days where we can't trust our own government, but that's nothing truly new. But we can't even truly trust each other, our own neighbors. It's become a world, as the old saying goes, dog eat dog. Unlike the world that I heard from in stories of my grandmother, where a neighbor would help. And it was truly better than it is now. I read on the news about these wars we go through every day, whether it be domestic or foreign. Even our own government allows classified information to be handed off to the Russians. Makes me think of this movie I like to watch called Red Dawn. Granted, in the movie, they show you what happens starting normally at the point when the foreign country invades. But one thing they never show you, or even explain, is what happened before the country invaded the U.S. in Red Dawn. They don't explain to you what exactly happened to cause the whole event. It's like our government has stopped caring about its own people. Yes, I know that's not true for all government officials, or just about most of the people in politics are, I suppose, good people. And it feels like we've all forgotten about all the amendments, including the second one, freedom of speech, and the fifth one, the right to bear arms. Even one of our own presidents said that the tree of liberty, from time to time, must be watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants. That does not mean that you should go off doing something crazy and violent, but it does mean that we do have to stick up for ourselves as a country and protect each other, even from our own government. But again, I say that does not mean violence. We must look out for each other. We must stand united. After all, this is the United States of America. It's full of families of patriots. And just because we're from a foreign country does not mean you can't be a patriot for this one. After all, most of the people in this country started off as immigrants. Just about every family in this country came from a family of people who came over to a country they were not invited to in the first place. Immigrants. And it saddens me to see that we turn our backs on the immigrants of now, when without immigrants, most of us would not even exist in the first place. And when I think about Trump and his wall, all I can think of is the Berlin Wall. And again, I am saddened. Is this the world my children will grow up in? World without freedom? World of war and hate and greed? Ruled by narcissistic, egotistical pricks who don't really even care about their own people. where our own votes don't even matter. After all the hard work we went through to get the right to vote. And news stations that pose fake media. I mean, seriously, they've been hiring actors just so they can run things over the news that would make us sad and grieve. And it's all controlled by the government. Personally, at this point in time, I wouldn't mind having Nixon for president again, because at least we knew what he was up to. At least he cared for this country. He cared for the people in it, the soldiers that fight for it. For him, it wasn't all about greed like it is for the government of now. You can find information about crisis actors right over YouTube and Google and basically all over the internet. It doesn't take much to find out about them. And then there's also Agenda 21. Look it up over the internet. Also known as Project 21, where the government systematically plans to open up FEMA camps hidden all over the U.S. and institute not only martial law, but population control. Or if you do not meet the grade, it's the guillotine for you. Granted, I know these are just the ravings of a lunatic who reads too much on the internet and watches way too much YouTube. And don't get me wrong, I love this country more than anything. There's so much history here. There's so many people have fought to give us the freedoms that we now have. I truly do love this country. And I pray someday that America will wake up and fight for itself again. And it'll be what it once was, a truly great nation. That other nations actually respected. Granted, they didn't necessarily like us all the time, but they respected us. They didn't see us as pushovers. And I do want to be able to help other nations. I think it's a good thing to help other nations. But I think the best way America can help other nations is by leading by example. Take care of our homeless and our children. Take care of our own country first. And if we actually get our own country on its feet, maybe then other countries would be more willing to accept our help. Instead of having us bully our way in to give our opinion that was not even asked for. Especially since we can't seem to take care of our own people in our own country. We got children eating out of garbage cans for crying out loud. And we got people who have done nothing for this country getting paid more by the government than our own veterans who are living out on the street with nobody to help them and no place to go, struggling every day to just get food in their stomachs, praying for the government and the people to care for them again instead of just abandoning them. I mean, that's basically what we did. We abandoned the very people that gave us the freedoms we now have. I truly do hope that someday the people in this country will remember what truly made America great and rise up and stand up for themselves. Not let themselves be brainwashed and pushed around. And remember what it was like when we actually knew what our government was doing, instead of just pretending or ignoring their ignorance, their stupidity. They're basically treating us like slaves now, which shows exactly how much the government cares. I mean, since when have we ever allowed the government to treat us as slaves? Even slaves way back when didn't truly allow the government to treat them as such. For example, did you know the Irish were the first slaves? Did they let the government? Did the African Americans or Jamaican Americans allow the government to push them around? No. Did women allow anybody to push them around, for crying out loud, no matter what denomination you were from? No. So what has changed that caused us to be so lazy that we have to sit on our fat American butts and stare at the TV like daggone zombies eating fast food that the government puts who knows what in, and let them push us around, control us, and basically treat us as slaves? I thought we were so past this as a country. And now they're planning on putting up a wall that's no different than the wall of Berlin. And they're going to make everybody pay for it but themselves, when they are overpaid as it is. And since when did we allow trust fund rejects to be president? I mean, it's bad enough Bush Jr. was president, considering that the time when he was younger, he got arrested for being drunk while driving. And at that point in time, it was basically an impossibility to be arrested for such. I'm not saying that these are bad people and stuff. I know everybody has their own opinion, and I truly respect that. Everybody should have their own opinion. This is America, for crying out loud. But shouldn't we have better respect for ourselves as a country to be a bit more picky about who we have running for office? Yes, I know I'm rambling. You don't have to tell me. After all, that's why I said I was going to ramble. You never know what I'm going to ramble about. I ramble all the time. You ought to hear me have arguments with myself. Anyways, thank you for coming to Nikki's place. I've got to be going now. It's late. It's exactly 11:43 at night. And I've got 2 kids to take care of, so I'll try to be on again soon to let you know what's going on. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast. Everybody have a peaceful night. Good night, everyone. Nikki out.